shot 71% so far. They have come out guns blazing. 10 out of 14. Dallas only 38%. 5 out of 13.
And that front line of the Lakers is just tearing the Mavericks apart. Right now, they're outscoring them 18-4. That's exactly why Nymphius and Pat Cummings, or the Bill Garnett, are in the game.
Aguirre fighting for the rebound, and one thing Aguirre has done splendidly in the playoffs so far is rebound. He's averaging in double figures where he normally averages 5.5 per game, and he can't believe that John Vadik just called a jump ball.
Well, Aguirre's going to need a little more help on the boards, and that again is why Nymphius and Garnett are in there, to give Mata a little more height on the boards and try to shut down some of the scoring of that front line of the Lakers.
Worthy will jump. This is an easy layup, but McGee is there for the follow.
Well, now, if you talk to Kareem afterwards, he'll definitely tell you the ball slipped out of his hand because it's awfully difficult to miss shooting down.
That is tough, isn't it? 8 points now for Jabbar. 26-10 lead for the Lakers. Mavericks may have a bit of the jitters here. Or maybe that Seattle series took something out of them. That'll be another jump ball.
This defense by the Lakers, as you take a look at Johnson and Cooper slapping hands, has been absolutely magnificent. Harassing defense, forcing the Mavericks into panic situations, Frank, and they're not reacting properly.
Worthy down court to Cooper. Timeout Dallas, and the crowd is on its feet here at the Forum in Los Angeles. Dick Motta is staring daggers at the officials. I think he feels they're calling it a little one-sided at this point. Would that be a fair conjecture?
Well, Motta, of course, wants to try and work the officials to try and get a few calls his way, but he's got some adjustments to make with his team right now. They're not banging the boards well. They're not handling the Laker defensive pressure very well at all. They've got to bring some guys, some players into the open areas to release some of the pressure that the Lakers are applying on them. The Lakers are not giving up that entry pass. They're harassing the ball handler, particularly Brad Davis. He is the quarterback to this Maverick offense, and if he can't do it well, they're in trouble.
Well, I don't know how the second round of the playoffs can be any more exciting than the first round, with 6 of the 8 series going down to the very last game. But this is the way the brackets shape up now. In the West, you've got LA and Dallas, and on the other side, Utah and Phoenix. And as you can tell, 3 of those 4 teams advanced by 5 grueling games, and the Lakers the only ones with a breeze. Now, in the East, again, you see a lot of 3-2 situations in the first round. Boston and New York will square off tomorrow in the first half of our doubleheader. And then New Jersey and Milwaukee will be involved in the second half. We'll have highlights of the game last night between the Knicks and the Pistons, which clinched round 1 for Hubie Brown's team, coming up at halftime. Dallas has not scored in the last 3 minutes and 34 seconds, and the Mavericks have turned it over 5 times, LA once, and Magic Johnson already has 6 assists here in the first period. Now, he averages 13 a game, but he's got 6 in the first 8 minutes. Davis on McGee, driving, trying to dish it off. Cooper down to Worthy. Look out.
Well, Frank, it's almost a replay of what I said just a few minutes ago. It's by defensive design that Cooper will try and pressure Davis so that he panics and goes into a one-on-one move as opposed to trying to run the offense.
Mavericks at this point looking like a first-year expansion team instead of a fourth-year expansion team. We get a whistle and a foul called on Cooper. Michael Cooper picks up his first personal foul. That's the 3rd team foul. And the Mavericks will throw it in. Mark Aguirre still has not scored. He averaged 29 a game during the regular season, 2nd in the league to Adrian Dantley. Blackman trying to get loose. Over Jabbar. Nymphius with the follow.
And that's precisely why Nymphius is in there, to give the Mavericks that height that they need to try and do a better job on the boards.
Jabbar going for the skyhook out front. Nymphius grabs the rebound.
Good job by Nymphius. Made him work for it. He went off balance.
Aguirre drives the lane, puts up a prayer against Jabbar. And Jabbar was all over him. He could not get off the controlled shot there. And here comes Byron Scott into the game for the Lakers, replacing McGee. So Aguirre very frustrated at this point. They need the point production from him or they are in big trouble. And Mark finally gets one to settle into the cords. His first basket of the game, but it took him 7 minutes and 15 seconds of the first quarter to get it.
Frank, you talked about that 5-day rest that the Lakers had. One player, perhaps the player that had benefited the most is Byron Scott, the guard that's in there now. Had the strained knee ligaments. He's been playing exceptionally well in practice. Said his knee is about 95% now.
And Pat Riley says he's going to be a great star in this league. That was Scott with the miss. The loose ball foul is on Jabbar, who fouled Nymphius underneath the basket. That's the first on the Cream with 2:21 left to play in the opening period. 30-14 ball game.
And we talked about the experience and wisdom of a coach like Dick Motta. I'm sure he told his guys during the timeout there's no way that the Lakers can maintain the same level of intensity and effectiveness. Just take your time and continue to execute, but you've got to do it smartly, not with moves like that.
And now with shots like that by Blackman. To Scott for two. They're putting on an exhibition of how this game should be played here in the first period. Totally dominating the Mavericks. Blackman in Jabbar's face, slams one off the window for 2 points. Blackman with 6 points in the opening period, 32-16, a minute 35 left. Worthy.
Well, the question may be asked, what does James Worthy bring to this Laker team? Just about everything. Defense, outside scoring, and good, strong post-up moves.
Well, he wasn't with him last year. He broke his leg, you'll recall. Nymphius shot is blocked back out to Blackman. Bob McAdoo will come in. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will get a rest. McAdoo, the only active player in the NBA to have scored 50 points in a playoff game.
Now with McAdoo in the game, he brings to the Laker offense not only a very deadly shooting range and arm, he's also a good post-up player. The problems that he's had against the Mavericks before is that the likes of Vincent and Aguirre have been able to use their strong bottom halves and move him around in the post-up position, pump fake, and get him in foul trouble.
And it helps in this game to have a strong bottom half.
Well, Aguirre is built a lot like Adrian Dantley. They both are very similar in that they have large, strong rumps, Frank, and that helps them in a post-up position because they can gain a few extra inches of added advantage by bumping that defensive player before they go up for the shot.
Aguirre 1 out of 2 from the line and just 3 points here in the opening period. As we hit the 1 minute and 10 second mark. Cooper, he's in one of those 3-pointers. Nymphius with the rebound, tips it to Brad Davis. Not only did Davis play on 4 NBA teams, but 2 minor league teams before making it to the Mavericks in their expansion year. Aguirre gets that basket. Under a minute to go in the opening period. It's been all Los Angeles.
With Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out, the Mavericks can take advantage of that by going to the middle much more often now without the concern of the 7'2" big fella in there.
Cooper on the drive, tries to lay it up. Nymphius was there to distract him. The loose ball foul is called on Worthy. That's a rather odd call.
Well, they got him for coming over the back. It looked more like a foul than it actually was because Worthy went for the rebound one-handed and was over the back.
Derek Harper checks in for the Mavericks.
Again, the official saw Worthy as he reached over with one arm. Actually, it was a good play, but when the body contact was made, Worthy did have good control of that rebound. Actually, could have been a no-call situation.
Bill Garnett on the free throw line. Garnett was a #1 draft choice a couple of years ago out of Wyoming. Harper, who's in there now, is one of the Mavericks' 2 #1 picks last year out of Illinois. He replaces Davis at the point guard position. Mavericks are in great shape in the draft. They've got 2 #1s coming up in this draft and then 3 next year. So this is a team of the future.
One of the best run organizations around.
McAdoo. Little delay underneath. Goes with the baby hook. And McAdoo gets his first basket. 36-21. 10 seconds to go. Mavericks going for the last shot here in the quarter. Vincent on the drive. out to Garnett, who tries to slam it at the buzzer. No call, and Garnett thought that he got fouled. That's the end of one here at Los Angeles. Lakers by 15. Frank Lieber with James Brown. Welcome back to the Forum in Los Angeles. Quarter number 2. First period completely dominated by the Lakers, 36-21. Dick Motta told us before the game that he thought his club would be loose. He said, you know, they've gone farther than anyone expected them to do. They've really got nothing at all to lose because everybody expects them to get blown away. Yet obviously he doesn't want them to go out on the floor and get blown away. And they were blown away in that first quarter. However, keep in mind, as you look at this graphic here, that in the first 2 games of the Seattle series, Dallas made up deficits of 16 and 17 points and came back in one instance to win a game and the second one to tie it and then lose it on Gus Williams' shot at the buzzer. So the Mavericks can come from behind. But on the other hand, the Sonics aren't the Lakers. Eric Harper brings it across the center line as we start the second period of play. Lakers shooting 62% in the opening period, for the Mavericks 38%. And Dallas keeps throwing the ball away, which won't help them any. On to try to find some combination which will work. That is 7 turnovers already against the Mavericks, who led the league in the least number of turnovers during the regular season. McAdoo with a sky-scraping jump shot.
One of the most unorthodox looking shots in the entire NBA, but yet one of the most effective. Kind of a slingshot looking.
He really put the arch on that one. 38-21, Dale Ellis getting ready to come into the game for Dallas. He's the Mavericks' other #1 draft pick this year from Tennessee. Blackman trying to penetrate inside the paint. It's a green ball, says John Vanek, the referee, so that means the Mavericks will retain possession. Garnett comes out. Ellis is in. So Dallas now has 2 rookies, 2 #1 draft picks in the lineup with Harper and with Ellis. Ellis contributed 10 valuable points against Seattle in Game 4 of their 5-game series. Did some good rebounding, too, off the bench. Dwyer's on the bench. That's Jay Vincent. Vincent blocked by McAdoo. Laker break down to Worthy. Absolutely amazing that you can be 6'10" and move like that.
The offensive recovery that James Worthy made was superb. Didn't go out of control. Watched the defense react and took advantage of it.
Nymphias with the pull-up jumper, and the Lakers get a piece of that. Down to Magic Johnson for a stuff. That's Magic's first 2 points of the game.
Well, he's been dishing out so many other points. Hasn't really had to concern himself with scoring. Lakers' interior defense, Frank, is doing an extremely good job. Again, they're playing the passing lanes.
Well, it shows you the Lakers don't need Magic to score to be an outstanding team. Blackman tried to do it himself there. Foul is called on Swin Nader, who has just come into the game. Magic Johnson comes out. Michael Kukla comes in for Los Angeles. Lakers have already accumulated 14 fast break points to the Mavericks 0. And that's one thing the Mavericks didn't want them to do, was get into that running game, and that's exactly what they're doing. Roe Blackman on the line. He came up the same year that Aguirre did. He was the 8th round pick 3 years ago, and Aguirre was the first pick taken in the draft. Played for Jack Hartman at Kansas State. He's turned into a very steady, consistent basketball player. He has 8 points to lead the Mavericks in scoring. 42-23. Still all Lakers. Byron Scott from the corner. Blackman trying to scrape that one off his fingernails, so it go out of bounds on him. We've got a timeout. 9 minutes, 53 seconds left to play in the first half. More playoff action on CBS, home of the NBA World Championship Series tomorrow. The first half of our doubleheader will match Hubie Brown's New York Knicks against Casey Jones' Boston Celtics. And then the second half of the doubleheader, some of you will see the New Jersey Nets take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Been a great series there for Buck Williams and also for Marcus Johnson. And I understand there's no truth to the rumor that the Nets tried to get him to play all the home games in that series at the Spectrum in Philadelphia since they did so well. And if you're not watching that game, the second half of the twin bill will involve the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz. So join us tomorrow for more great NBA playoff action right here on CBS. Dick Motta trying to figure it out, and right now it's one of those days for the coach when nothing has gone wrong. 42-23, the Lakers with a big lead, and we're not even at the halfway mark of the second period. Cooper inbounding to McAdoo. They're doing whatever they want.
Again, the Mavericks are going to have to react a little better on defense. They're allowing the Lakers to do whatever they want offensively, penetrating into the middle without challenging the shot or the dribbler. They've got to do a better job of that.
Cummings in the corner to Davis, and Davis is 2 for 2. Davis had a real cold spell in that Seattle series. In 2 games, he went 1 for 13, but he seemed to get it back in games 4 and 5. Lob to McAdoo, hits the bottom of the basket, but McAdoo comes up with it nevertheless and runs down his 7th and 8th points.
And I heard Jay Vincent scream an apology that time because he knew that he should have reacted better from the offside defensive position to help on McAdoo. He didn't.
Jay Vincent was on the same team as Magic Johnson at Michigan State when they won the NCAA championship. What a break, huh?
Well, this is the track meet that the Lakers wanted. Dick Motta right now has got a more offensively oriented squad in the game trying to get points on the board. The one strong defensive player he has is Derek Harper to try and defend against Byron Scott.
Cummings on the drive. Gets the hoop. Pat Cummings first. He has played well against the Lakers in the past. In fact, he's averaged something like 18 points a game during the regular season. Lakers already have great contributions from off their bench. Did 10 of their 12 shots. Well, this is what they've got on the bench. Magic Johnson, Kurt Rambis, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they can rest, and the rest of these guys are adding up the points right now. 48-27. Harper off to Jay Vincent. McAdoo out on defense. Of course, when Magic came out, Jay Vincent stayed in school for 2 more years and led the Big Ten in scoring. McGuire, long-range jumper, doesn't go. Davis going up with McAdoo, comes down very hard and shaking off some cobwebs. He really hit the deck.
You heard me use the term a panic move. That's exactly what Mark McGuire did that time because of the strong defense taking him away from what he likes to do, and that's to post up low.
48-27, McAdoo, as the Lakers continue to shoot the lights out. This against the Dallas team, which beat the Lakers 3 out of 5 times. But again, a couple of those were without Magic Johnson, and one came right at the end of the regular season when the Lakers were resting some of their top people. McGuire gets his 3rd basket.
The big difference today is that the Lakers are playing trapping defense. In the series before with the Dallas Mavericks, the Lakers have been playing passive defense. They're not doing that today. They're going out there challenging the ball. They're gambling, and that's made all the difference in the world.
All right. Kareem Jabbar back into the game. Coming up at the half, an interview with Olajuwon, who decided yesterday he would play in the NBA next year and forsake his final year of eligibility at the University of Houston. So Houston's loss will be the NBA's gain, and probably either Portland or Houston's gain specifically, since they're in the flip. Vincent missing, following his own shot. Slapped away by Jabbar. Here come the Lakers on the run again. McGee will slow it down.
And that's why the Lakers can gamble out front. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best defensive safety valve that you can find in the league.
Lakers had 33 blocked shots in their 3-game series with Kansas City. That's a record. Jabbar that time fake Cummings to the left. Got the pass inside, and Walter Matthau even had a smile on his face.
Little subtle battle going on that time between Jabbar and Cummings. Jabbar got the position. Cooper showed the patience and waited for him to get the spot he wanted.
Harper short with the shot. Cummings goes down hard. McGuire with the left-handed layup. Aguirre has 9 here in the first half. 52-31. Lakers with 6 minutes left in the half. Lakers already have 6 blocks in this game. Kareem himself had 14 in the 3 games against Kansas City. McGee with the miss. Didn't get any of the rim. Davis from the corner. That's his first miss. Jabbar with the baseball pass down court to McGee, and the Lakers will slow it down.
Good decision by Mike McGee. Didn't have an advantage on the break that time. Smart play to bring it out and set it up.
Lakers with a 21-point advantage. And looking for all the world, like they want that world championship back. McGee missing, trying to get his own rebound. Rambis to Jabbar. He's fouled. It counts.
Give the credit to Mike McGee for making that play. The best person on the floor to determine where a missed shot is going to fall is the guy who shot the ball.
Timeout. Lakers. Well, you're live at the Forum in Inglewood, California. The Lakers and the Mavericks. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Talk about this mismatch in the middle with Cummings, James.
The craftiness that comes with experience. Cummings knows that Kareem wants to go for the hook. He's taking the inside lane away, but watch Kareem give him the outside position, slip to the inside, easy 2.
Jabbar on the line has 12 points and 2 rebounds. There's the contrast in the center matchup. Of course, that's what the Mavericks have said ever since their inception. They're looking for is the big guy in the middle. Hopefully they're going to get him out of the draft the next couple of years. So Jabbar's point total remains at 12. And the Lakers lead at 54-31 with 5 minutes left to play in the first half.
Good job by Kurt Rambis on Aguirre. Took away the inside option. The Mavericks had to go to the second and third option, and they threw the ball away as a result.
And I think the Mavericks are going to get a break here. That one looked for all the world like it was off the hands of Jay Vincent. They're going to give it to Dallas. And Dick Motta says, about time we got some kind of break. Vincent trying to inbound it over the head of Blackman. Has to run it down. Slapped away by Jabbar to McGee. 2-on-1 break. McGee on the fly is fouled by Davis.
So many little things that are being done out here that really tell the difference and show the difference between an experienced pro and a rookie. Kareem that time, recognizing he didn't have a chance for the two-handed rebound, tapped it out. That started the break.
McGee has really come on for this Los Angeles Laker team. Coming off the bench, he was our most valuable player in our CBS telecast. Last week at Kansas City, missed both of those. Davis in the front court for the Mavericks. Aguirre hasn't been able to really get on track. Tries to drive the lane. Rambis goes sprawling. It's an offensive foul against Aguirre. That's his 3rd personal foul.
The Lakers did their homework well against Aguirre and everyone else. They know he likes to dip that head when he makes the move. Kurt Rambis, excellent defensive position.
So 3 fouls on Aguirre. Jabbar back outside to McGee, who buries it from the top of the circle. Mike McGee, the former Michigan All-American, who is the all-time leading scorer in Big Ten history.
Again, the Mavs want to try to work it inside to Aguirre. Watch Cooper push Aguirre away from his post-up position and now shade him.
Davis trying to penetrate, and I believe McGee got him on the iron. Aguirre comes out, and Dale Ellis replaces him. Aguirre goes to the bench with 3 fouls, and Ellis, the #1 draft pick from Tennessee, who during the course of the season at one point hit 8 straight 3-point shots. Which has to be an NBA record over a couple of games. There's Ellis off the front rim, and the rebound goes to Rambis. Magic Johnson drives the lane, puts it up with the left hand. Cummings with the rebound. Davis leading the 2-on-1 break, and Magic comes back to knock it away from Davis. Fans love it. Lakers swarming all over the floor. Rebound off the foot of Cummings and out to Blackman. This is turning into a very painful lesson for Dick Motta's young team.
Motta just doesn't have the bench that the Lakers have, Frank. The Lakers bench has outscored the Mavericks 22-4.
Magic Johnson trying to do a con job on the officials. And Vanek looked over to Hugh Hollins for help, and Hollins said, green ball. That Magic's a pretty good actor.
We're in Hollywood.
That's right. Cummings with the miss, and Rambis scrapes it off the window. Magic still shaking his head about that call, I think. Cooper looking to the big man. They've had no problem getting it into Jabbar today. 14 for Jabbar. Jack Nicholson has his Easter duds on today. See that bright yellow sport coat that Jack's sporting?
Which is exactly why he has a pair of dark shades on.
Well, it's Laker colors, I guess. He's up for the playoffs. Davis. Benson with the rebound. Up and back in. Benson with his third basket.
Jay Benson's big rear helped him that time on the follow-up behind Kareem.
Magic with the miss, and Kareem with an easy follow. 16 for Jabbar. Only man who has scored or averaged more points in the NBA playoffs than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is also in the arena, and that's Jerry West, the former Laker who is now the general manager of this club. Cummings losing his footing, or rather Ellis losing his footing, and Cummings gets off the shot from the top of the circle. 25-point lead, make it 27 as Cooper glides in.
Frank, in looking on the faces of the Mavericks, they really look winded and fatigued, and I've got to believe that a game just the other night, plus the flight here after a practice in Dallas, is really starting to take its toll on the Mavericks.
Well, obviously, something has. Traveling called on Blackman. Timeout, Mavericks. Coming up at the half, Pat O'Brien has a lot of information you'll want to take in. Akeem Olajuwon has decided to come out of school and into the NBA, and Pat will interview him. Pat will also bring you up to date on the wildest opening round in playoff history, and he'll have an in-depth look at the big story so far in the playoffs, and that is the stunning upset of the defending world champion Philadelphia 76ers. All that and more coming up at the half. I wouldn't say that these Laker fans are overconfident, but during the timeout, I just saw a guy order a couple of hot dogs to go.
I think that's par for the course here, though.
Wow, have they put on a show. 62-35. The Lakers, who seem to win the world championship in the even-numbered years. They won it in 80, they won it in 82, and they're going for it in 84. Cooper makes it look easy. They are just toying with the Mavericks right now. That's 8 points for Cooper here in the first half of play. Elston Turner has come into the game, number 33, as Dick Motta has just about emptied the bench. Blackman really got nailed by Cooper as he got that jump shot away. Second on Cooper. That is the third team foul on the Lakers. Now, one thing the Mavericks have done well in this playoff series is shoot free throws. They set a record for a 3-game series, hitting 89% of their free throws in the 5-game set against the Seattle Supersonics. In fact, one game they went 24 of 24.
Would be a nice strength that the Mavericks could go to if, in fact, they could get inside and start to draw some fouls, Frank, then they could get to the free throw line a little more often.
So Blackman, now 4 out of 5 from the line, has 10 points to lead the Mavericks scorers in the first half. 64-37, less than a minute to go.
Looking for the jump shot from Scott.
Byron Scott has it knocked out of his hands by Davis. McGee comes up with it and runs it down to the follow. Mike McGee with 12 first half points.
goes to the offensive boards with reckless abandon. As a matter of fact, McGee's teammates hate to practice against him because he goes to the offensive boards and doesn't care about knocking anyone over.
He has really come along in a couple of years. Vincent on the drive, and Vincent was fouled. Jay Vincent was the center of that Michigan State team, which won the NCAA championship when Magic Johnson played. They were both sophomores and have remained good friends, as you might suspect. 2 coming up for Vincent. His first trip to the free throw line. Talking about shooting free throws, against Seattle, he hit his first 31 free throws in that 5-game series and then missed 2, which could have been very important in the final 12 seconds.
And as you take a look at Vincent at the free throw line, you can see that he definitely is winded. Mott, of course, trying to determine what he can come up with to counter. But the Laker trapping defense is really starting to bring out the fatigue, starting to exhaust the Dallas Maverick team.
Lakers will go for 1 with things well under control. Turner trying to stay with Magic Johnson. Johnson still wears tape on that finger where he dislocated it earlier. Gets the drive. Vincent with the rejection. Let's see. They call goaltending. They call goaltending with 1 second to go on Vincent. So credit the basket to Magic Johnson, only his second of the first half, which turns out to be a disaster for the Dallas Mavericks in this Western Conference semifinal playoff series, Game 1. Pat O'Brien coming up next with At the Half. We're at halftime in Los Angeles with the Lakers leading the Mavericks 68-38.
They've also harassed Brad Davis, taking him out of the offensive flow and forcing him to go one-on-one.
You know, something we were talking to Pat Riley about yesterday, which I don't think any other team does. He makes up videotapes of the opposing team of a player that one of his guys will have to guard and gives him a highlight film on the other player going into the series. And so he has his own highlight film of the guy he's going to guard, and obviously it's paying off.
And they study it for an hour and a half. Go to sleep thinking about it.
Aguirre misses his first shot of the second half. Laker break.
Well, we just came off of the halftime talking about fast break. The Lakers looking forward every opportunity, and they're successful.
Mike McGee starting off where the Lakers left off in the first half of play. Jay Vincent over Jabbar as that one settled in. Vincent with now 9 points. Blackman was the only player in double figure for the Mavericks in the first half with 10. Cummings with the rebound. Mavericks trying to do a little running as Brad Davis gets it down court. In the first half, Los Angeles shot 65% from the field. Dallas shot 35%. Mavericks have shot one of the playoffs. They averaged only 43% against Seattle. And here come the Lakers one more time. Magic trying to get it to McGee. Blackman down to Aguirre. One-on-one with Michael Cooper. Aguirre has been, for all intents and purposes, a non-factor.
Michael Cooper defending Mark Aguirre, giving away a good 30-40 pounds.
Vincent trying to go inside, trying to squeeze through between Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they put the foul on Magic.
The important thing in trying to make a comeback, as in the case of the Mavericks, is to see your superstars really going all out, diving on the floor for loose balls, not giving up. If you see those guys continue to plug away, then the other players, the fringe players, will continue to try to give their all.
Aguirre, who had 9 in the first half, inside to Cummings. Brad Davis over Rambis with the miss. Dallas still stone cold. That Seattle Game 5 must have taken a lot out of them, because they are flat as a flounder.
I don't think there's any question about whether or not the rest did L.A. any good.
Well, that time it was Kareem getting it inside to Magic. Magic trying to get the shot away. Rambis comes up with it, and he's fouled. Vincent picks up his second.
Many people continue to ask the question why Kurt Rambis starts. He establishes a very aggressive, action-oriented style of play for Pat Riley, and that's why he's in there.
Magic missing the hook shot. Outlet from Cummings down to Vincent. 2-on-1 break to Aguirre. Mark Aguirre goes into double figures. He has 11.
An understatement to say that the Mavs are going to have to pick the pace up. They're going to have to pick it up without rushing.
Nice steal by Vincent, who stepped in front of Rambis that time. Great anticipation on the part of the Dallas forward. 70-42. Blackman Penetrating.
And the first couple of times down, the Lakers' interior defense is a tad bit more porous. Mavericks are taking advantage of it.
That's the first time I can remember the Mavericks making back-to-back baskets in this game. Unanswered. 2 baskets, but Rambis comes back with 2 more for the Lakers. Lakers, the second oldest team in the playoffs and the second most experienced team against a young Dallas team which has virtually no playoff experience at all except for Pat Cummings. Aguirre got inside Rambis. Went up against Cooper. Just to make sure, Aguirre wanted to make sure the referee heard him. Timeout, Lakers. At the conclusion of today's game, James Brown and I will select a Miller Most Valuable Player of the Game. And in conjunction with this award, Miller will present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics in that player's name. You see anything different the Mavericks are doing here in the second half?
Yes, Dick Motta told them to move the ball quicker. Kareem Jabbar, look at him. He's nowhere in the middle that time. That's why Aguirre was able to get his shot off without being contested by the big fella. The switching defense of the Lakers had Kareem on the offside, out of the paint area. The Mavericks took advantage of it.
Aguirre 1 out of 2 from the free throw line so far. On a day when nothing is going right for Dallas. He has 11 points, normally a 74% free throw shooter. Game 2, by the way, will be Tuesday night here in Los Angeles before the scene shifts to Dallas for games 3 and 4 next Friday and Sunday. Kareem, who has had his own way against Pat Cummings, to a wide-open Michael Cooper. They sag on Kareem. He just sends it out to Cooper for a soft 15-footer.
Very smart by Michael Cooper that time. He didn't take his man into Kareem. He kind of positioned himself very nicely right at the free throw line for the open jumper.
Lakers lead is 30. It's been as high as 32. Davis from the corner over Rambis knocks one down. Johnson.
The key to that play was that Magic Johnson kept his head up the entire time, and he saw the Dallas Maverick players not looking at him. They were so concerned about the cutting players. Magic went all the way in.
Davis and Vincent out top. Vincent bringing his old college teammate Johnson out with him. Aguirre with the fadeaway is fouled. This is not a good day for Aguirre, but when he's got that jumper working, it is something to see because he maybe has the quickest release of that jump shot of any player in basketball.
Not only the strong bottom half, the quick release, and he shoots that jumper with a straight arm, which in essence turns him from a 6'6" ball player into a ball player about 6'9".
3 fouls now on Rambis. Cooper also has 3 for the Lakers. And Aguirre has 3 for the Mavericks. Mark made his first free throw, then missed 3 in a row, and now is at 2 to give him 13 for the afternoon. That ball was tipped by Blackman and will belong to the Lakers.
A couple of times down, the Lakers are trying to take advantage of Mike McGee's strength and height advantage over Brad Davis, trying to post him up.
McGee and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. McGee, three-pointer. Three-pointer for Mike McGee. Gives him 17 in the afternoon. As the Lakers continue to shoot lights out. They're hitting layups, fast break points, three-pointers, you name it. Vincent distracted by Johnson, and we get a loose ball foul called on the Mavericks. It'll be on Aguirre, and that is 4 on Aguirre.
And that really hurts. Not a good shot by Aguirre that time. The right idea, but he was a little too impatient. Should have moved the ball around a little more, gotten into better position.
Cooper and Magic Johnson on the outside. Alley-oop! They call that the Koopaloop here in Los Angeles. And when he goes up in the air, I mean, you are talking serious levitation.
And talking pinpoint passing, but watch Vincent, he reacted to it, but Cooper, athletic ability, simply out-jumped Vincent. Very, very tough play, but that was eye contact between Magic Johnson and Michael Cooper.
So the Lakers continue to roll. We've still got 7 minutes to go in the third quarter here in Los Angeles. 82-48. They're going to run up some impressive numbers if they keep scoring at this rate. Aguirre dips inside for the two-pointer. McGee couldn't catch up to it. Kind of does remind you a little bit of a track meet, doesn't it? 6:48 left to play in quarter number 3. Frank Lieber along with James Brown from the Forum, and a reminder, this is just the second of many Saturday games you're going to be seeing in the NBA playoffs right here on CBS, home of the NBA World Championship Series. You're used to seeing the Sunday games. Now you'll see Saturday as well. Mata making more adjustments.
Yes, Dick Mata, seeing that the right side entry pass was taken away by the defensive position of McGee, had his players swing the ball quickly. Therefore, Aguirre had the defensive player on his back. Excellent adjustment by Dick Mata.
Case of too little, too late, perhaps, at this point of the game against a team as strong as the Lakers. 32-point deficit. That's what Dallas faces here with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third period. Mavericks control the ball. Rolando Blackman inside to Pat Cummings. Cummings lost it. Mavericks are spending a lot of time looking around for foul calls that aren't happening. Officials calling this one rather loose. Jabbar comes right back to him. Kareem just had to wait on the outside. Ball bounced right back to him. And the Lakers set it up again. Foul will be on Vincent for pushing on Rambis. That's 4 fouls on Jay Vincent. Magic Johnson running the show. He already has 11 assists in this game. Jabbar finally goes with the skyhook.
Cummings is doing his best. The adjustment that Cummings was trying to make was not to shade Kareem to either side, play him honest. And that's an advantage for Kareem because he's got a 4-inch height advantage.
18 for Jabbar. Michael Cooper picking up Davis strong as he comes across the center line, trying to get inside his shirt. There's Aguirre.
The Lakers, James Worthy and Byron.
Foul is on Magic Johnson. And that is 3 on Magic. Well, here come the reinforcements. James Worthy coming in off the bench. Byron Scott comes in off the bench. McGee comes in. Rambis gets a rest. Cooper gets a rest.
A real luxury to bring former All-Americans off the bench, give your starting players a breather. They recharge and come back in and go at it.
That's the most impressive thing I think about this Laker team is their bench strength. I don't think anybody in the league can match them, come close in terms of depth. Aguirre totally frustrated. There's a look at that Laker bench. Of course, they've got Scott in there right now. Scott was the first guard picked in the draft. He was the 4th choice by San Diego and was traded to the Lakers prior to the start of the season in the Norm Nixon deal. Of course, the Lakers had to sign him. He was unsigned at that point. And Riley says he's going to be a great player. He's had some knee problems. There's a pass from Scott to McGee breaking underneath the basket.
You talked about how deep they are. They've got a 12th man, Larry Spriggs, who was a very talented ball player, worked himself into super shape.
And you rarely see him. 86-51, but you made it A. Vincent driving the paint, trying to squeeze in between Kareem and Magic. Have you ever seen an NBA player who admitted to committing a foul?
Well, the problem here was a lot of reaching fouls. Again, Magic doing a good job. He did have all ball, but as I mentioned in the first half, so many officials will make that foul call on sound as well as sight. The best way to steal that ball, and it's tough to accomplish, is to go with the palm facing upwards. Going from down up, that way you don't create that slapping sound.
That ever happened to you?
Oh, many times, many times.
Jay Vincent on the line for the Dallas Mavericks. Missed his first free throw. Since then, he's hit 3 out of 4. He has 11 points. And that foul, by the way, was the 4th on Magic Johnson. So he will get some fine time. Cooper. Once again, the skyhook. This time short. Blackman grabs the rebound. 86-53. Lakers. Vincent with the miss. Jabbar with the rebound. Byron Scott. A lot of contact underneath. And we've got a loose ball foul on Mike McGee of the Lakers. That's his first foul. And let's see, team foul situation. That'll put the Mavericks in the penalty for the remainder of quarter number 3, which has 4 minutes and 31 seconds left.
As much as a challenge as this Maverick team has, this Maverick team is still a very good team. They are in dire need of a power forward and a big center. Once they get those two positions filled, they're going to be a team to reckon with for a long time because they are indeed talented. They've gone a long ways with a small team and basically in the center position playing 2 forwards.
Brad Davis hits them both, and of course the Mavericks should fill at least one of those needs in the upcoming draft. They have the 4th pick, which belonged to Cleveland, so they're looking at maybe one of the 2 Kentucky centers. And they also have the 15th round.
I know they're very, very high on Sam Bowie, but it's a matter of whether he's going to be available by the time they get a chance to select.
Byron Scott picks up the personal foul, offensive foul on the Lakers. 86-55. Lakers toying with the Mavericks in game 1. But keep in mind, it's a best-of-7 series. And despite the fact it's a devastating loss, it is still only 1 game. Davis trying to beat Cooper down the court.
You rarely see Brad Davis complain. They call the foul on Davis. From this angle, it looked as if Cooper might have grabbed Davis.
Davis picks up his 3rd personal foul.
Watch Cooper reach with his left arm and grab and hold Davis, who was actually in good position to steal the ball. Cooper thought the foul was going to be called on him, and indeed it should have been.
Cooper with 14 points and 3 rebounds and 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. This guy was one of the steals in the draft when he came out with like a 3rd round draft pick.
An amazing comeback story in his own right. At one point, it was thought that he wasn't even going to be able to walk properly. Cut his knee tendons extremely bad in the backyard accident. He's out here playing professional basketball and one of the best leapers in the league.
That took 100 stitches in that wound when he was a kid. Dale Ellis. Nymphius. Cummings underneath with the rebound. Blocked by McAdoo. Nymphius with the next one. And finally tipped in by Pat Cummings.
Great action under the board. Good 2nd and 3rd effort by Dallas. Also good rebounding drills being exemplified by McAdoo and Worthy.
Play getting a little sloppy on both sides.
You talk about good jumping ability. Watch on the rebound. The Mavericks show good hustle by going after 2nd and 3rd effort. But watch McAdoo, a quick jumper. He went down and back up again. Good 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort. That's where your rebounding drills come into play in practice situations.
Foul was on Blackman of Dallas, and Cooper back on the line once again for the Lakers. 3rd round draft pick out of New Mexico. And Cooper this year once again named to the 1st team all-defense NBA. And of course is a great 3-point shooter. As we said, he's hit over 30% of his 3-point shots this year. Blackman gets Scott out of position. Can't get it to go. And Blackman knocks it out of bounds. Swin Nader comes in for Jabbar. Gets a nice hand.
Big, strong player.
Former San Diego player.
Indeed he is. Big, strong player who really takes up an awful lot of room in that middle. Good, steady ball player who crashes the boards hard.
3 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. McAdoo on the drop. And Cummings fouled him.
Number 45, Mark West in the lineup, replacing Pat Cummings.
3 fouls on Cummings. He comes out, and Mark West, who is another Maverick draft choice this year, a rookie who played his college ball at Old Dominion. Now Pat Cummings had a word to say to the official as he left, and that will cost him a tee. But I would believe it would matter little at this point.
Complete frustration on Cummings' part. He felt that Kareem had been leaning on him quite a bit, and no fouls are being called his way. We're starting to talk about Mark West, a young man who was drafted for his defensive ability. Good shot blocker. He's still young, still learning and adjusting to the pro game, has been doing a good job in practice sessions, and is hoping to show some stuff.
McAdoo on the line. Now talk about unorthodox free throw shooting. Watch this free throw attempt by McAdoo.
Watch that left leg of his also as he brings it forward.
Not picture perfect, but it's, what do they say?
It's effective.
Not how, but how many, huh? And he gets him to go down. Very effective. 92-57. Lakers could hit 100 here before the third quarter is out. Derek Harper from outside. Nymphius tried to follow for the Mavericks, and he is hammered underneath. I believe McAdoo, yes.
That's a good move by Nymphius. He got McAdoo in the air and sacrificed his body so as to draw the foul. One of the knocks against Nymphius, as you take a look at Dick Motta looking on, is that Nymphius would not look to score as often as he should to take advantage of that 6'11" height.
Mavericks are called in time with 2:49 left to play in the third period. Coming up tomorrow, more NBA action on CBS, home of the NBA World Championship Series. The Knicks and the Celtics in the first game of our doubleheader tomorrow afternoon from the Boston Garden. Then in the second game, you will see either the Phoenix Suns take on the Utah Jazz. And some outstanding players involved in that one. Larry Nance, who is the slam dunk king this year of the NBA, and Adrian Dantley, the leading scorer in the league with the Jazz. And those of you who won't be watching that one in the second half of our twin bill will see the Nets take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Kurt Nymphius on the free throw line, second of two here. But it is all academic at this point, even though we're still in the third period. Byron Scott just inside the three-point line. Turner captures the rebound for the Mavericks, who trail it 92-59. Mavericks were down by 30 at halftime. In case you joined us late, the all-time NBA record for being down at halftime is 36, which was set several years ago. For those of you who watched the tennis earlier this afternoon, we didn't have a chance to show you the finish of the women's double, and Horvath and Rizic wound up beating Mandlikova and Cody in 3 sets. Ellis. Or did I get that backwards? Byron Scott inside to McAdoo, playing the post against Nymphius, and Nymphius gets the holding call. I did get it backwards. Mandlikova and Cody were the winners over Horvath and Rizic. I was so concerned about getting the names right that I didn't get the score up.
And I think both Mandlikova and Cody called real quick here to you, huh?
Absolutely. McAdoo on the line. And Pat Riley, Mr. Cool on the bench, 37 years of age, looking for his second NBA championship in 3 years. And right now, it would be hard to go against the Lakers the way that they're playing.
A player's coach is Pat Riley.
Mark West, rookie in the middle for the Mavericks, missing the shot. Ellis grabs the rebound. Cooper will bring it down with 1:40 to go. Worthy with the turnaround. A lot of shoving underneath going on between Mark West and Swen Nader. And this will go against the rookie, Mark West. Prior to this game, West had seen exactly 1 minute of playoff action in the first 5 Maverick games. So you had to believe that Dick Motta is treating this as garbage time, even though we're only in the third period.
Well, Pat Riley is looking at this opportunity for Byron Scott to really start to find his offensive rhythm and regain that shooting touch since he's been out with the strained knee ligaments.
Lakers continue to pressure. I mean, they are taking no prisoners. 95-61. Los Angeles lead with 1:20 left in the third period. Nymphius on top, over to Derek Harper. Motta does not have a single starter in there right now. Worthy had his hands on the rebound for a minute, finally tipped over to Cooper.
Cooper is showing his versatility, Frank.
Worthy Goaltending call on West. So credit the basket to Worthy. I would say that the Lakers' second team may be among the top 5 in the NBA.
They'd win one of the divisions. Michael Cooper, showing his versatility, has 18 points in the game. But I was about to mention that when Magic missed a number of games because of that dislocated finger, Cooper played the point guard and did an excellent job at it.
Ellis has it curl out on, and Nader grabs the rebound. Cooper's 18 points has tied his playoff career high. Turner picking off the pass, and Dale Ellis, the rookie from Tennessee. Little double pump action. Ellis getting his first basket. 6'7" freshman. I wouldn't call this a comeback yet. 97-63. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Byron Scott doing a good job penetrating the paint.
And he's doing that against an excellent defensive ball player in Derek Harper as West and Nader start to go at it. West has got an awfully big man that he's pushing around, or attempting to push around, in 7 foot, 240-pound Swin Nader.
Well, West is no midget himself. He goes 6'10" and got to be about 230 or 240. Harper, three-point try by Harper at the buzzer. So Harper hits the three-pointer. That's the end of the third period of play, with the Lakers leading comfortably. Will return to the Forum in Los Angeles after this word from your local station. That gum, that player for 9 years in the NBA, 5 of which he spent with the Lakers. As you can see, it has been total domination by the Lakers throughout the game 1 of this best-of-7 series, as the Lakers inbound to start the final period with a 33-point lead. Swin Nader going inside on West. And Nader, who once upon a time was a backup center to Bill Walton at UCLA, gets his first basket of the game. Mavericks got to be a little shell-shocked. How do you think they're going to react in game 2, James?
First of all, I think it's going to be very important for the Mavericks to make this one a lot more respectable, Frank, so that they don't lose their confidence totally against the Lakers.
Yet Mata is going with his backups completely here. He's had his first team on the bench for a good part of the third period and starting the last quarter with his backups. Byron Scott with the miss. Those are going to be a lot of theories as to why the Mavericks had their problems today. The grueling 5-game stretch against Seattle obviously took its toll. I think that's one reason. Here come the Lakers on their break one more time. Byron Scott and Larry Spriggs. There's the young man you were talking about, Spriggs, who did an outstanding job for the Lakers in the Summer League and made the team as the 12th man this year. And he's been around the league with a couple of other teams but hasn't seen much action.
Very explosive player, a crowd favorite, graduated from Howard University, a solid program back there at Howard University. But Larry is the epitome of hard work and determination. Did not allow the setbacks of not making a pro team and sticking with them all year affect him. Continue to plug away. He and Magic Johnson, very close friends.
He's a most interesting story. We're going to have a feature on Larry Spriggs, the 12th man of the Lakers, at halftime of our second game of the doubleheader on CBS tomorrow afternoon. Elston Turner gets it across the center line. Spriggs' brother, Ed, was the backup center a couple of years ago for Patrick Ewing at Georgetown when they went to the championship game and lost to North Carolina. Lakers turn it over. Derek Harper with a three-pointer. He is slapping at it a couple of times, saves it from going out of bounds. Has an open shot from 15, can't get it to go, and Spriggs grabs the next one. Byron Scott to a wide-open Bob McAdoo.
You were talking about the Spriggs family. You should see his brother Greg Spriggs, who stands about 6'6" and weighs 280. He's a bodyguard for Sugar Ray Leonard.
105-68, and Mitch Kupchak is getting ready to come in, and he will wind up the clearance of the Laker bench in this rout this afternoon. McAdoo again over Nymphius. You talk about pure shooters. There is one of the best in the history of the NBA. Most valuable player 10 years ago in the league. A 3-time NBA scoring champion, and content to come out here to Los Angeles and finally earn that championship ring 2 years ago with the Lakers. Though he has to do it coming off the bench. McAdoo has not missed today. He's 7 out of 7.
Come on!
Elston Turner. Hits for the Dallas Mavericks, 107-70.
I had the unpleasant experience of trying to defend Bob McAdoo in college when Harvard University played North Carolina. And McAdoo has a way of making you feel pain with shot after shot.
Steal by Dale Ellis. How many did he get on you?
Try 26. Part-time duty.
Harper. Pass intended for Nymphius, who wasn't ready for it. Nymphius with just a look of disgust on his face, plodding down the floor rather slowly. McGee getting ready to come in. Kupchak is, and so is Bill Garnett, ready to come in for the Dallas Mavericks. McAdoo. That's his first miss. Well, he missed everything when he missed it. Harper. Off to Elston Turner. Short with the jumper. Nymphius with the follow. McAdoo fouled him.
Timeout on the court.
Bill Garnett comes into the game for Dallas as the Mavericks call a timeout. Welcome back to the Forum, where the crowd is being entertained by Dancing Barry during the timeout. The Lakers with a comfortable lead. A reminder, more NBA playoff action on CBS. The Knicks and the Celtics in the first game of the doubleheader tomorrow. Bernard King, and I think right now Bernard's going to get my vote for MVP this year. What a job he's done in the playoffs. Paired against Larry Bird. Great matchup. That'll be the first half of our doubleheader. And then our split national game, the second game, you'll see either New Jersey against Milwaukee or Phoenix versus Utah, depending on what part of the country you happen to be. The Maverick bench, and all the starters on the bench right now. Brad Davis, Mark McGuire, Jay Vincent, a lot of long faces. Pat Cummings. Well, Dallas has only shot 36% in this game. And you talk about what do they have to do to improve. I guess you better start right there.
Well, one of the reasons that Dick Motta has the starters on the bench, of course, the game is out of hand here, and he doesn't want his starters to lose their confidence any more so. The first quarter is going to be extremely important for Dallas because they like to run a control-styled offense. They've got to get that lead. If they give the lead to L.A., then they've got to play catch-up, and that's exactly what they've been doing since the jump ball today.
Well, you wonder if they can stop that Laker break. They haven't done it today, but they have done it some this season over the last couple of years. Nader with the miss. A scrap for the rebound. Nader and Nymphius going after it, and Nymphius comes up with it. And the foul will be called on Spriggs. 8 minutes and 14 seconds left to play. And the Lakers leading 107-72. It has been no contest since the first period. 37 is the biggest lead that the Lakers have enjoyed. They were up by 30 at halftime, as the Mavericks apparently drained from that grueling 5-game series with Seattle, which ended Thursday night. And the Lakers having a week to rest. Garnett has a shot blocked on, and Mitch Kupchak fouls him the second time around. Garnett will get the basket. And Kupchak will get the foul. We've talked about Kupchak often in the past before. As you look at the replay here, and you look at Kupchak's knees, and you wonder, 3 doctors said this guy's never going to play basketball. He may have trouble walking. And yet a couple of years later, here he is back in a uniform. Not only when he was injured did he rip up his ligaments and cartilage, but he also broke his leg at the same time. It was one of the most severe knee injuries I think anyone has ever undergone in this game.
A lot of people just don't know Mitch Kupchak. He's come back from serious injury before, as we mentioned last week, a very bad back injury, but he works extremely hard.
Fine pass from Derek Harper to Bill Garnett, and Garnett gets his second basket. I don't believe the Mavericks have put together more than 2 consecutive baskets in this entire game without L.A. answering. Mavericks have not made a single run in this entire ball game. Spriggs has it ripped out of his hands by Ellis. It'll be the Lakers' ball out of bounds.
Well, there's an old axiom, Frank, that if a trapping defense or a zone defense starts to work well for you the first couple of times down the court, it gets stronger with each turnover that it creates. And that's exactly what happened with the Lakers. That trapping defense yielded results in the first quarter, and it got stronger with each successive minute.
Foul is on Ellis. That is 3 on him, and going to the line with a pair will be Larry Spriggs. Larry's played a little bit at Houston, a little bit with the Bulls, and some in the Continental Basketball Association.
Nicknamed by his teammates the Horse because he is so strong and so physical. He's got a lot of bigger bodies out there in Swin Nader and Kareem Jabbar and Mitch Kupchak, but Spriggs is perhaps the strongest player on this Laker team.
109-76. Elston Turner getting it across the center line for Dick Motta's Mavericks. Garnett on the drive, pull-up jumper over Nader is short of the mark. West got his hands on the rebound, but Spriggs comes up with it. 3-on-1 break, McGee for 2.
Pure determination and hustle on the part of Larry Spriggs. Give a lot of credit. He came out of the pack that time. He wanted the ball badly.
Mavericks beat Seattle in their first ever NBA playoff appearance in round 1, but it gets a little tougher as they're finding out today. Scott with a gorilla thump.
Well, the Lakers have accomplished everything plus today, Frank. I was about to mention that a couple of things get accomplished in a blowout situation like this. If you're the loser, you have to continue to execute. You impress your coach with your continued determination and hustle. You can't give up and hot dog it at this point.
Mark West getting some valuable playoff experience for the Mavericks when the pivot gets his first basket of the game. Kupchak over to Scott. Scott failing to hit. West did a good job that time blocking out 7-foot Swin Nader. Down to Garnett. He scores and he's fouled. Scott will get the foul. Credit Garnett with his third basket of the game and 8 points. And the Lakers will call time. We have 5:50 left to play in this game. Welcome back to the Forum in Los Angeles, where it's been all Lakers. More NBA action tomorrow on CBS. First half of our doubleheader, the Knicks against the Celtics. Knicks surviving 5 tough games with the Pistons, and the Celtics have had a few days off. James, you think possibly same reaction here by the Knicks?
Well, Frank, there's always that possibility. However, I would tend to doubt it in the case of New York, because New York gets so much of its offense from its defense. They play a number of multiple defenses, so I think they will be a little stronger because they do play trapping, gambling defense.
And they are a much more veteran team, quite obviously. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 18 points in the game. 16 of those came in the first half, and the thing was pretty well decided. In fact, it was decided probably by early in the second period. Bill Garnett, who's had it coming off the bench offensively. Normally he doesn't score that much, but he's got 9 points, well above his average of 5.1 per game. Byron Scott one-on-one with Elston Turner, who's a good defensive player. Kupchak has Garnett on him. Inside to Spriggs. The foul is on Garnett. That's his first personal foul. Garnett has had a history of foul trouble since he's been with the Mavericks. We mentioned the first game of the twin bill tomorrow. Celtics and the Knicks. And we've got the split national for you in the second game. And New Jersey has really been the surprise team, haven't they?
A young team that is really playing extremely well. Perhaps one of the biggest pluses for that team is the fact that Michael Ray Richardson has come back to full form, playing extremely dangerously as he did before when he was with the Knicks. New Jersey is looking awfully good.
Of course, Spriggs hits both free throws. Milwaukee could be the sentimental favorite here with Bob Lanier playing his last year. They are the oldest team in the playoffs. In the last 3 years, they've been knocked out of this series by Philadelphia, and they're happy to get a chance to play somebody else. Turner. Garnett with the follow shot, tried to slam it. Nearly tore the rim down of that one, and the Lakers come out running. McGee down to Byron Scott. Kupchak rebounds. West gets the next one.
Even though Garnett missed that slam, I like the killer instinct he displayed.
He went after it, didn't he? West got good penetration, got close to the basket, but it wouldn't go, and it's knocked out of bounds by Dallas. 4 minutes and 52 seconds left, and the young Dallas Mavericks victims of a clinic and how to play pro basketball put on by the LA Lakers as McGee drives for the hole and draws the foul. West gets another one. That's 3 on him. Here's the last Maverick on the bench, Roger Fegley, who used to play for San Antonio and once upon a time played a little bit for Dick Motta in Washington. Harper will come out. So Fegley, who has not seen action in any of the 5 previous Maverick playoff games this year, is in there now.
Roger never quite got his pro career off the way many people thought he would. An excellent shooter, but Roger has to have his feet in position. And also he needs a good pick in order to get that shot off, but he is one of the most deadly shooters around. Good looking form, nice touch.
Ellis outside for the Mavericks. Jump shooting over Spriggs. Here's a breakaway. Spriggs.
And now you know why he's the crowd favorite here.
Absolutely. Larry Spriggs with a thunderous slam dunk. And it's 119-81. West having trouble. Gets it away to Turner. Turner can't hit it. We get a foul called underneath. Loose ball foul is going to be, let's see who they're calling on, West or Nader. It's on Nader. Yeah, the second half of our CBS doubleheader tomorrow, those of you who won't be watching Milwaukee play New Jersey, will see Phoenix and Utah. And if I had to make my vote here for Coach of the Year, I think I'd almost have to split it 3 ways. I like Frank Layden, I like what Motta's done, and I like what Hubie Brown's done.
I don't think you find very many arguments in many corners of the NBA. You talk about that Phoenix-Utah matchup. Of course, Phoenix is playoff seasoned also, but that Utah squad has really come together. They have, personal opinion here, the player whom I consider pound for pound to be the best offensive player in the league, and that's Adrian Dantley.
And they, of course, won the division that the Mavericks are in. Dallas winding up in second place. 3 minutes and 55 seconds left to play in this rout. Lakers 119, the Mavericks 82. Steal by Dale Ellis. Turner clears it down to Garnett. And Garnett throws it away.
Stay right here.
Turner hit the deck. And Spriggs sent him sprawling. Let's see if they called a foul. Now they give the ball to the Mavericks. Out of bounds. Strictly garbage time right now. Fegley with the miss. And Mitch Kupchak comes out of it. I think Mitch Kupchak has got to be #1 on my all-time floor burn team. Kareem Jabbar getting arrested. That brings a smile even to the face of Pat Riley to see Kupchak go after it like that.
Kupchak has never been known to back down from physical play. Hard-nosed ball player.
Of course, Mitch played for Motta and that championship team in Washington, didn't he?
He sure did.
So Motta is well aware of Mr. Kupchak's capabilities. But he's had a frustrating couple of years with that knee injury, subsequent surgery, and fighting his way back. And he would have been paid had he just sat out. But he wanted to come back. He worked hard to come back, and now he's back. And that's a great tribute to this 8th-year man from North Carolina. You talk about quality, too. You look at the Laker roster, and they go with the winners. They've got half of their roster is made up of players from North Carolina and UCLA. Turner, short of the mark. Kupchak with good outlet down to McGee. Ball loose on the floor. Coming up with it is Alston Turner to Fegley. Dishes it off to Garnett, who lays it in. Garnett now with 11 points. All of them here in the second half of play.
Good, scrappy, hustling play in the last few minutes here of the game. Good playing time also for the second squads of each team, particularly for the Lakers.
Timeout, 2:59 left to play here at the Forum. Frank Lieber with James Brown back in Los Angeles. Game 2 of this best of 7 on Tuesday night. And I guess you could say the Lakers will go into that one rested as well, because they sure didn't work up much of a sweat today. Pat Riley, every hair in place on the bench. He hasn't had to get exhorted much.
You know, I think the Lakers also came into this game with a little added incentive. A number of the players were very frustrated with the continual questions being asked why Dallas did so well against them during the regular season, taking it 3-2. And the players continue to try to drive home the point. That was the first season. We're ready now. We can go out and show what we can do. So they went out and played hungry.
Spriggs on the free throw line. Both teams in the penalty for the remainder of the game. And Spriggs, who has seen little action so far here for the Lakers, has played the entire final quarter. Now has 6 points, including 4 to 4 from the free throw line. Alston Turner will bring it down for the Mavericks. A learning experience, I guess Dick Motta would say, for his team after this game, as they go back to the drawing board. They, of course, will stay out here in Los Angeles and have a long time to think about it until Tuesday night. Three-second violation, and the Lakers throw it away. Fagley with a three-point try puts up an air ball. You know, last Saturday, the Mavericks played Seattle in Seattle and were beaten decisively, and they had 3 days to think about it out there and came back very strong.
Well, the one thing about a multiple game series is that you get a chance to make adjustments, and certainly Dick Motta is one of the best coaches in the league to understand exactly what caused the blowout today and go out and work on the adjustments for game 2.
Motta, in his 16th year coaching in the NBA, one of the deans in this league, though he's in Dallas for only his 4th year, and he is the 5th winningest coach of all time. Nader on the line. When Motta first came into the league, first NBA game he ever saw, he was head coach for the Chicago Bulls back some 16 years ago. Nader gets them both. Time for everybody to work on their stats.
And the Lakers are still pressing.
They really are. They are taking no prisoners, as we said earlier. Nice pass from Turner to Mark West, who goes in for the slam. 125 to 86. Lakers simply running out the string here. Byron Scott loose in the corner. That's 2.
2 minutes, ball game.
Laker bench, you know, they've been here before. They're not going to get excited probably until they get down to the championship series. But they want that title back, the one that Philadelphia took from them last year. And of course, the 76ers are no longer a factor. So that's one roadblock that they won't have to worry about. Timeout, back in just a moment. Well, no question that this is the biggest blowout of the playoffs so far this year, with the Lakers holding a 41-point advantage over the Mavericks. But if you want to talk records, you have to go back to 1956 when the Lakers were in Minneapolis and they beat St. Louis, who were then the St. Louis Hawks, 133-75. That was a 58-point margin of victory. So they've got a little ways to go. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar relaxing on the bench with 1 minute and 44 seconds left of this one. And the timeout was up, and all of a sudden the Mavericks called another timeout. So we've got back-to-back timeouts. It gives us one chance to analyze possibly what has gone wrong in this game. You saw the shot of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a moment ago. Well, Kareem will be our Miller Most Valuable Player of today's game. He had 18 points, 16 of those in the first half, and really kind of set the tone in the first period of play, and wound up with 7 rebounds and played less than half the game. And Miller is pleased to present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics in the name of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But again, you've got a situation where you could pick 3 or 4 Lakers.
And you talk so often about how much talent this Laker team has. Keep in mind that the Lakers have been waltzing through playoff activity so far, minus a guy who has been scoring 17 points a game in Jamal Wilkes.
That's a very good point, and they get him back, hopefully, for practice this week. He may miss this whole series, though, before he's ready to go. But we'll have to wait and see. Fagley on the drive. A lot of people exhaling under that basket when Kupchak came down on the floor and picked up the foul, and Fagley will go to the free throw line. But there is an immense amount of talent on this Laker roster. And again, you'll recall 2 years ago when they won the World Championship, they breezed through their first 2 series at that time, Phoenix and San Antonio, and beat them 4-0 and 4-0. And didn't lose a game until they got into the final series. That's not bad bench situations. fact, Magic and Kareem are kidding some of their teammates on the floor right now, telling them to put out a little bit. McGee bounces one off the window. McGee with a strong offensive game. Here's another guy could have been our MVP again this week as he was last week. He had 25 points.
He is in some kind of shape. He's been playing hard-nosed defense all game long.
Mark West trying to get inside on Nader. Nader doing a good job. Block it out. Gets the rebound. 129 to 88. Just over a minute. Steal by Fegley. And Spriggs comes up from behind and times his lead perfectly, and the crowd loves the block.
And those are the kind of plays that stick in a coach's mind and help a player solidify position on a team for him. That's the 9th Laker block. And Spriggs certainly got up awfully high on that one.
Fegley misses the jumper from the corner. Elston Turner over Nader for the 2 points. Boy, Spriggs just timed it perfectly. That was a great athletic play. Spriggs on the drive going in on the other end. Take a look at how he times his leap here.
The thing is that Larry Spriggs never gave up. Byron Scott tried to force a move that really wasn't there, but watch Larry time this move, not giving up all the way to the end. That's what you call hustle.
And Fegley knew he was coming. He saw him take a couple of glances. Look at the Laker bench. They love it. Who said the playoffs weren't fun, huh? When you're the Lakers and you're up 129 to 80, or rather 90, give the Mavericks their due here. Spriggs can shoot free throws too. He's got 11 points and he's perfect from the free throw line. 131 to 90. Ellis with a 3-point effort for Dallas. Spriggs gets the pass back to McGee, and Turner steals it from him. 4-on-1 break. Missing the layup. Yeah, the crowd hasn't been in the game like this since the first quarter. They're really enjoying it. Spriggs.
Boy, the fans are really showing their appreciation for Larry Spriggs.
You see this really so often as Spriggs now with 11 out of 11 from the line and 15 points. Last guy comes off the bench and he's always the crowd favorite because he never gets to play. And when he does something, the crowd just goes nuts.
But this is one guy who can deliver.
9 seconds left to play as McGee fouls Dale Ellis. 134 to 90. It has not gone well for the Mavericks. Mark McGuire, their leading scorer, has averaged 29 points a game of the year. Of course, hasn't played much at all here in the second half. Played early in the third period. He'll wind up with only 14 points. 5 seconds. McGee. That should do it. A most impressive start of the Western Conference semifinals by the Los Angeles Lakers as they take the lead at the outset and romp over the Dallas Mavericks 134 to 91. We'll be back at the Forum in Los Angeles in just a moment.